Hello everyone and welcome to BrickCats. My channel is for anyone who enjoys custom LEGO creations, likes saving money, and or those looking to get into custom building. If you're a fan of my channel or are interested in supporting what I do, please consider liking this review, subscribing, or leaving a comment. Each like, subscription, and comment helps others find my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Today I am reviewing Quarrie's Workshop's TIE Advanced, available on Rebrickable. I believe this is Vader's TIE Advanced X1 we see in A New Hope. Without any substitutions, in early March 2024, I was getting 3 stores and $86 without shipping and tax, or about $110 with shipping and tax. In my reviews, I offer my opinions on aesthetics and model features, parts issues you might want to look out for, the build experience, the model's integrity, and I close out with my overall impression and pricing information in the conclusion. If you're watching this review, I assume you have bought the instructions or are interested in buying them. I also assume a basic level of familiarity with Brickling's ordering system and LEGO nomenclature. I only use genuine LEGO bricks and I always purchase the instructions. Finally, I create these reviews for my own personal enjoyment and in the hopes that my advice will make your experience more enjoyable and or less expensive. Quarrie's Workshop's TIE Advance is just under 7 inches long, 6.75 inches wide, and about 4 inches top to bottom. On the included display stand here, it maxes out at 6.5 inches off my table. The parts list specifies the TIE Striker top dish, which is the less expensive alternative. Here I've used the TIE Advanced top dish since I have a couple of them, but here is the TIE Striker top dish for comparison. You can see that the black stripes are just on the opposite side of the bar. I think these two printed dishes are some of the best printed pieces LEGO has ever made for LEGO Star Wars, and either one will be fine. For pricing purposes, I did keep in the TIE Striker top dish. The cockpit shape is formed by the new 3x2 wedges. This is the first time I've seen these used on a TIE cockpit, and it looks really good in my opinion. The windscreen fits nicely, and the chin cannons use the bionicle eyepieces. The only downside with using the wedges is that the light bluish gray corners of those wedges do show through the transparent windscreens a little bit. The cockpit has plenty of room for a pilot. They don't stud in, but there's not a ton of room to move around anyway. There's some trans red detailing, the control yoke, and some printed slopes in the cockpit, and while I'm generally not terribly concerned about interiors, I do think this looks really good. The pilot can drop in from the top just fine in my experience, but if you need more room, it's not too difficult to remove this little section right here. The angled support sections to either side of the cockpit look very accurate, with the small cutouts created with the anti-stud side of these inverted slopes. I do like these flat sections on the top, as most sources like the Bandai models have this being fairly blocky. I also really love how these panels match up almost seamlessly with the inverted slopes on the top and bottom. The rear fan-like section is side-built and connects very cleverly to the central section that houses the hyperdrive here. Detailing is very good with cutouts on either side, and the 4 engines are represented with trans red round tiles. The wings are plate construction, which necessarily results in some studs showing, and the designer has used two newer elements, the 6x4 wedge and the 4x2 pointed wedge, to capture the outline of the solar array perfectly in my opinion. Black tiles cover the rest of the wing, and the black detailing is also present on the opposite side of the angled sections, which are joined to the main section with fingered hinges. The display stand is included in the parts list and holds the model at a nice upward angle. I also really love how it connects to the model. There are these two clips on the other side, and they connect to the stand's bar connection. And this slope matches up perfectly with the slope on the other side of the fighter here. And it's really great. Overall, this is a great looking model. It's accurate, it's scaled nicely, and includes a lot of nice detailing. Quarrie's Workshop's TIE Advanced and the stand requires 136 elements and just 631 pieces. This is a very efficient parts list in general without any extremely rare or expensive elements with the standard exception of the top dish. That top dish, part 18675 PB08, is the dish that came in the TIE Striker and has the black stripes on the opposite side of the dish than the TIE Advanced, as we saw earlier. Most people aren't going to notice this, and it looks just fine. Even the TIE Striker dish, though, is not inexpensive, typically running in excess of $5. This is better than the TIE Advanced top dish, part 18675 PB01, which usually runs over $15. You can switch this out for the plain version, part 18675 in light bluish gray, to maximize your cost savings. The cockpit windscreen specified is the Dish 6x6 inverted with bar handle with Star Wars 8-spoke radial cockpit pattern, part 18675 PB02. This is the most common Thai cockpit windscreen these days, but basically any of the 6x6 cockpit windscreen elements will work, including the newest one, the Dish 6x6 inverted with bar handle with Star Wars 8-spoke radial cockpit with yellow triangles and red dots pattern, part 18675 PB24. This came in the 2024 Yoda's Jedi Starfighter set. You could also use part 18675 PB23, the windscreen that came with the Mandalorian Fang vs TIE Interceptor in set 75348. The tile round 2x2 with bottom stud holder with black Star Wars TIE Fighter pattern, part 14769 PB025 is usually over $1 each. I really like these tiles and I have a bunch of them, but the plain 2x2 round tile in light bluish gray or dark bluish gray, part 14769 would look fine as well. Also, the TIE Bomber set introduced a new printed tile that would also work, the tile round 2x2 with bottom stud holder with black Star Wars TIE Bomber pattern, part 14769 PB578. There are minor differences between the two prints, but like the top dish, I doubt anyone will notice or care. For pricing purposes, I substituted the TIE Bomber tile. There are two elements that tend to be rather expensive on Bricklink, the left and right 6x4 wedge plates in light bluish gray, parts 48208 and 48205, and the right and left 3x2 wedges without studs in light bluish gray, part 80177 and 80178. They aren't required in quantities that make it worth ordering separately from Pick-a-Brick, as you won't meet the minimums for waiving the shipping and handling fees, but if you're placing a larger Pick-a-Brick order with LEGO anyway, you will definitely get them cheaper than through Bricklink sellers. As usual, I use the Brick Hunter extension to check the entire parts list against the Pick-a-Brick inventory. Check out my video on Brick Hunter if you haven't already or don't know how to use it. For this model, you won't save as much ordering through Pick-a-Brick compared to Bricklink, but it's always nice to have new parts in my opinion, as it's pretty close. You'll see my pricing comparisons in the conclusion. The instructions for the TIE Advanced have 186 steps with each part or subassembly added in each step outlined in red against a white background. This works just fine for visibility and the stand is included in the instruction set. The instructions are excellent, I did not have any viewing angle or sequencing issues. The build goes at a nice pace with generally only 2 or 3 elements per step, and without any pre-sorting the build took me about 2 hours, going at a leisurely pace. The instructions also have good supplementary views for a few sections where it's not completely obvious how you place a certain subassembly, for example the angles on these sections to either side of the cockpit. This is very helpful and saves you the annoyance of having to make potentially difficult adjustments later. There are only 2 areas I have a little bit of trouble with, but these were not showstoppers by any means. The first was connecting the central section of the wings to the body. Clips on the body connect to 1x1 modified tiles with bars on the wings, and there's a bracket connection as well on both the top and the bottom. I found this a little difficult to align everything such that you can connect the wing all in one go. Usually one of the brackets was slightly misaligned and popped off since it isn't secure with anything else, and you have to squeeze it in again. And the only reason I think this is kind of a pain is that it's difficult to get that bracket in place once the wing is secured, because you're connecting studs at 90-degree angles. There's enough flexing the wings to make this possible luckily, but it's not ideal. The second area I have a little bit of trouble with was connecting the slanted section of the wings. These are fingered hinges and the tolerance is very tight. Just make sure the fingers are physically touching the little notch or the angle portions will be loose and will fall off. It is a little awkward to force these into place, but they do fit. This build is slightly more complex than the official set, but I think it would be suitable for someone without mock experience, as all the connections are legal as far as I can tell and the instructions are so well done. The TIE Advance is a very solid model, and there aren't too many delicate or fragile sections you need to worry about. It's very swishable, and you can move this around as much as you want to, without any real limitations. You can shake it up and down, roll it, whatever. The rattling you hear there, that's Darth Vader in the cockpit. The wings are solid, and you can put this down on the table just fine without any worry that the wings are going to collapse or get bent out of shape. You can pick them up by the wings like that. So this is very suitable to display in a Death Star scene or something like that. There are only 3 areas that were a little less sturdy than the others. The only spot that I think might need a little bit of reinforcement is unfortunately right where you pick it up and put your thumb on the spine here. You can kind of see and hear that flexing a little bit. That's just because it's hollow underneath here. The other area you can kind of see right next to it. This is one of the connections for the fan-like section in the rear. It's also where you want to put your fingers when you're swishing it. So if you put pressure while you're holding it upwards on this, it can pop like that. And the last part that I've had fall off just a little bit are these two corner panels on either side here. And that's only because these are wedged in there pretty tight, and the connection is a hollow stud for the boat stud right behind it. And they are under a little bit of tension, so those can pop off kind of easily. The display stand, here it is again, is very sturdy, and the clip and bar connection holds the fighter very securely. One really great thing about the stand is that while the connection is very strong, when you take the model off the stand, I have not had any pieces come with it, which can be a problem with other models. So this model gets top marks for model integrity. It's very well built, especially for a custom model. In conclusion, Quarrie's Workshop's TIE Advance is an excellent model. It looks great and accurate compared to the source material. It makes great use of some newer elements to create a unique cockpit outline and wing details. It's very sturdy and easily fits a minifigure, making it great for playability. And lastly, it comes with an inexpensive but effective display stand with a great connection that makes it perfect for display as well. Price-wise, without any substitutions in early March 2024, I was giving 3 stores and $86 without shipping and tax, or $110 with shipping and tax. With the 2x2 tile substitution, I got 2 stores and $80 without shipping and tax, or $98 with shipping and tax. Just for fun, I ran the numbers with the 2x2 printed tile and the 6x6 plain dish substitution, knocking the price down to 3 stores and $65 without shipping and tax, or about $87 with shipping and tax. And finally, ordering as many elements as I could from Pick-a-Brick. My Pick-a-Brick total was $85. This includes tax, but does not include shipping and handling because I met the minimums for free shipping and handling. The 3 elements I would have to get from Bricklink, those were the printed top dish, the windscreen, and the printed 2x2 tiles for the wings. I would have gotten those from 2 stores and $7 without shipping and tax, or about $20 with shipping and tax, for a total of $105. Instructions for this model cost a very reasonable $7 and are available on Rebrickable. This is an excellent price, and I believe it's well worth it. There will be a link to the model's Rebrickable page in the description below. Thanks as always for watching my review of Quarrie's Workshop's TIE Advanced. If you've built the model, you have something to share that I left out, or have a question about something I didn't cover, please leave your thoughts below in the comments. Remember to leave the video a like and a comment, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Each like, comment, and subscription helps increase the channel's visibility, and I greatly appreciate your support. I hope to see you back next time.